This is a Clark University podcast.
I had never seen someone talk so frankly about sex in like a really accessible way and without any like shame associated with it, but like fun at the same time. It really kind of broke my brain in some ways. The ways that I had seen sex represented and talked about was either this is something you don't talk about, something that is like discussed in a clinical context, or something that was like hyper sexualized, fetishized. And this was none of that. And I was just like, wow, this person is incredible. I really want to become this person when I grow up.
That's Alicia Gauvin. Alicia was talking about Megan Andelloux, a Rhode Island-based sexologist who visited Clark University to talk to students about sexuality when Alicia was an undergraduate. That workshop sparked a massive dose of inspiration for Alicia, a psychology major who graduated in 2012 and is now the executive director of SHIP, the organization Megan Andelloux founded in 2010. SHIP, SHIP, stands for Sexual Health Includes Pleasure, and is dedicated to providing adults with culturally inclusive, medically accurate, pleasure-guided sexuality education, therapy, and professional training.
She opened the organization after working in an adult boutique that was based in Providence and closed down. And she realized that a lot of adults were coming to the retail store just with like general sex ed questions because they did not know where else to go. When that store closed down, she saw this need in the community. The main reason we exist is to bridge the sexual health literacy gap as a result of the absence of comprehensive sex ed nationwide. Currently, the way our society is structured is we don't talk about sex with anyone under 18, and then people turn 18 and it's like, okay, you're an adult, you can engage in adult behavior, but we're not going to give you any of the tools to do that. We are putting the onus of sex education on parents who have gone through that cycle of not knowing medically accurate information. And so that is why SHIP exists.
I'm Melissa Hansen, a producer in Clark's communications office, and this is Challenge Change.
We started out primarily doing workshops on college campuses because we were like, okay, we're going to catch these freshly minted adults who have not received sex education. They're coming from different parts of the country, so they're getting different levels of sex education. Even in one state, it can just vary school district to school district. I became executive director in 2018. One of my long-term goals was to do more community-based education because it's a privilege to go to college, and not all college students go to the workshops that we put on. We have had workshops on how to talk to your provider about sexuality related concerns, how your medication might be impacting your sex life. It really runs the gamut. We also did a workshop on harm reduction approaches to safer sex. So not just focusing on condoms, but thinking about other ways that we can engage in sexual behavior safely in a way that is accessible to all people. I believe that sex education should be valued as a public health program, and it needs to be incorporated in all levels of our society.
Reaching the community means meeting the needs of those who have survived sexual trauma and partnering with experts specially trained in the diverse dimensions of human sexuality.
We have a therapy program for folks who are either looking to navigate either sexual trauma, work out some sexuality-related concerns, or seek a qualified mental health practitioner, your more generic mental health support, but with someone who has that specialized training in sexuality. Pleasure is a big component of our approach to sex education. If you look at adult learning theory, like adults want information that is relevant to them, things that they can use and apply in their own lives. And the reality is that many people are engaging in sex because it is pleasurable and is something that they enjoy. And so we really miss out on having these critical conversations when we shy away from it. Our goal is to, embrace the pleasure and also incorporate the risk reduction, harm reduction methods to engage in sex safely so that you can get the most out of your sex life, out of your sexual experiences.
So far in 2023, dozens of bills targeting the LGBTQ+ community have been introduced across the country. Alicia believes that inclusive sex education could help generate a better understanding of what it means to be queer, something that has the potential to influence the politicians bringing such bills forward.
The role that sex education plays is humanizing the spectrum of sexuality behaviors, making it so that we can't use sexuality as a form of oppression. I think as a society, we had a greater understanding of what queer sex is, what it means to be queer, and what it means to be trans. Maybe we would still have these pockets of oppression because we do have people whose religions may not encompass these behaviors, these identities. I do think we are seeing a snapback from the years of marriage equality and queer folks having greater visibility. I think that had we had greater sex education, I don't know if we would be seeing the snapback to such an extent that we are seeing it right now.
Working in this field, Alicia has noticed that many parents feel uneasy or apprehensive talking about sex with their children.
The knee-jerk reaction is that if I talk to my kids about sex, they are going to start having sex. And I think that is part of the absence of sexual health literacy. Few people are exposed to just talking about it as if you talk about your other health, like talking about nutrition or talking about exercise, other ways that we take care of our bodies. There is a trend that youth are delaying sexual behavior, but they're not delaying it until marriage. What we miss out on when we don't talk about it is the reality that there is childhood sex abuse, and that needs to be talked about. The absence of talking about our bodies and how they function leads to a lot of confusion and shame that people carry into adulthood and may, in fact, cause them to engage in harmful behaviors, either because they don't have a good foundational understanding of consent or because they think that the only way that they can have a relationship is if they engage in a sexual behavior that they're uncomfortable with in order to retain their partner. There's so many different ways that people can experience harm, and really what we're trying to do is to destigmatize and empower people so that they can make informed decisions about their sexualities, their sex lives, and whether or not they want to engage in sex.
To learn more about psychology at Clark, visit clarku.edu/psychology. Challenge Change is produced by Andrew Hart and Melissa Hansen for Clark University. Find other episodes wherever you listen to podcasts.
1, 2, 3, Clark!